Sorry, I'm late.
Not late. This is earlier than we normally record.
I know, it's crazy.
Which is actually pretty cool, because I got some fun plans later. Nobody cares.
Enjoy your sex.
Hooray! Sex! I mean, wait, what?
I can't be the only person having it.
Well, I had it for the...
You really might be in the room right now.
Well, no, I had it for the first time in months 2 nights ago.
Holy shit.
First time in months.
Oh, yeah.
Was it just as fun as you remember?
Yes.
I'm surprised you're finally... Well, I guess you should be healthy enough now that they've taken your gallbladder out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my other health issues haven't magically gone away, but...
And we need to start working out again. And, oh, I have to ask you, because, her friend wanted to start working out, and I told her about the Richard Simmons thing.
Yep.
And I was going to ask you if either you felt comfortable enough a couple of nights a week going to their house.
I don't care.
Or me bringing her over here, because we can't do it in my living room, because we're upstairs.
Yeah.
So we can't.
My answer is I don't care.
Okay. But you haven't met her yet, so I wasn't quite sure you wanted her in your house.
Okay.
She's like a year younger than us. Or no, she's your age.
Yeah, remember, I'm not actually an old lady.
No, I keep on forgetting that you're not my age. I keep on forgetting you're younger than me.
Well, I'm the one who, was the age of all of our other classmates.
Yeah, I was the one that was held back, so I keep on forgetting that we're not the same age.
You guys are making me feel really young over here. That's not a good thing.
Shut up, old man.
I keep on forgetting how old are you?
I am, apparently, because I know Kiki's older than me. That means Greaves is a lot older than I am.
She's only a year older than me.
Oh, you've got like a good 2 or 3 years on me, Kiki, so...
How old are you?
27.
Have you already had your birthday this year?
Yeah, it was in March.
Okay, well, then she's only 2 years older than you, and I'm only 3 years older than you.
Yeah, but that's like a whole generation difference, because I was born at the front end of the Y generation.
Yeah. We're not old.
It's scary, because we were arguing about this, because technically, according to, what do you want to call it, sociologists, anybody born 86 or later is the millennials, and I'm like, bullshit, the millennials are anybody born in the late 90s or in the early 2000s. That's what makes them millennials. They're like, no, if you were born blah 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 like after like basically 87 or later, you're a millennial. I'm like, no, we were Generation Y or Generation X, depending on who you asked. No, apparently we're millennials, according to the experts now. And I remember when I was younger, they said we were Generation Y because we were born... It was basically like, what did you think was cool when you were a kid? Like, if it was like Transformers and G.I. Joe and shit, well, then you're probably Generation X. But if it's like Power Rangers and shit from the 90s, then you're probably Generation Y. And I'm like, then how the fuck are we millennials?
I'm sure sociologists have a point behind it. You're,
Generation X?
I think technically we're both Generation X, but other people argue that we're Generation Y because we technically still grew up with the internet. It was just early implementation.
I didn't really get the internet until junior high.
Well, it doesn't count just you. It's the majority of us.
The argument they make is that anyone who grew up in that phase where we started to get the internet is Generation Y. If you grew up and got through high school and the internet wasn't a thing in households, then you're Generation X. However, that's bullshit because Generation X basically is like ends somewhere in the mid 1980s. If you were born somewhere in the mid 1980s, then you're the tail end of Generation X. If you were born towards the middle to end of the 1980s, you're Generation Y. However, that's bullshit because, well, as she stated, she didn't have it till later. I had it from the moment I was basically born. My parents are really into technology, and I had a computer from the age of 3 on.
Yeah, I had my own personal computer when I was younger in my room.
I didn't have my own personal computer until I was my own personal computer?
Yeah, like not
I didn't
just a
have
computer
it until I was
house.
like 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah, I've always had.
You were there when we bought the stuff for it.
Yeah. Like, I think since 3rd grade I've had my own computer.
And actually, no, like my own personal computer, like I saved up the money and I bought the pieces for it and everything. That was when I was like, what, 20? I know, I'm sad.
You are the saddest panda.
I am the saddest panda.
Okay, are we ready to do this?
We should have been recording that whole thing.
We have been.
Oh, okay. Hi!
Would you guys prefer if I told you when I start recording?
No, I just always assume Kiki's recording. I was actually worried she was
because I like to get a bit of pre-roll before we say hi to each other.
I just wanted to get that hooked up so that I had water running from my aquifer to my waterfall and then down into the river.
Welcome once again to the super happy fun Dabbatron Tea Party with Kiki, Bones, and Breathe. Beep boop, and such.
So hi, Bones! Who's drinking?
Hi, Kiki and Grieve. Oh, God.
Hi, Bones!
Guys, look! Well, listen, because this isn't visual. Not only is it Grieve, but I didn't end up in the fucking hospital before recording again! Woohoo! High five! High five!
That's because this week I didn't say, and we'll totally record as long as you don't end up in the hospital.
Yeah. Because the second time I went into the hospital, I said that for that Friday we would record, and then my ass ended up in the hospital again, so.
Well, because Kiki asked me, she's like, is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to record this Friday? And I'm like, no, I'm totally free. As long as you don't end up in the hospital, we're all set.
Yes. But
And like, what, was it like 10:30 that morning? You messaged me, you're like, I have to go to the hospital. I'm sorry.
It wasn't 10:30, but yeah,
It's like in the morning or afternoon.
I had fallen the night before, which is apparently a fucking precursor to my ass ending up in the hospital now. Because the last time I also had fallen the night before. Also with vomiting. And I thought I was just feeling general pain.
Mental note, every time Kiki falls,
well, I don't have the gallbladder anymore. Ready. It's not like a congenital stone. I don't have those anymore. But then, you know, like, I started waking up. I was like, oh, great, now I'm vomiting. Oh, there's the pain. But sadly, the husband had gone to work already, so I had to have Grieve take me to the emergency room.
Which I am perfectly happy to do.
Yeah, but I'm tired of seeing the emergency room.
So am I.
And
I don't like hospitals.
And the staff is lovely, but I'm really tired of, having to stay multiple nights.
Yeah.
But I am gallbladder free.
Because I can really only stand visiting you like the once, and then I start having nightmares.
And, I have tiny little holes from where they took them out.
I gotta give him credit because, like, you went in on a Friday and, like,
2,
Saturday
3,
morning they...
4, 5. Yeah.
What was it, Kiki? Like, you went in Friday night, Saturday morning they cleared the blockage, and then you were good enough to go by, like, Saturday afternoon that they got you in and pulled it out, like, same... I was shocked. It was like, we're gonna clear the blockage. They got that done, and then, like, I'm sitting at work doing shit, getting extra stuff done. And Kiki messages me, and she's just like, I'm going into the operating room in like an hour. They're taking it out, and I'm like, wait, what? And then, like, I got busy and forgot about it. And like 3 hours later, she messaged me. She's like, it's all right, it's all done. I'm good now. And I'm like, huh? What just happened?
Yeah, seriously. Technically, having to go into the hospital because of the blockage moved up my surgery because it was going to happen like this month.
Wow. I am so glad that you're, like, really feeling better. I mean, I know there's still the other thing, but I really, really, really hate the hospital. I've never had to be, or I haven't yet had to be a patient. Knock on wood.
I don't think this is real wood.
It's the thought that counts.
All right.
Is this real wood?
Believe me, I empathize with Kiki because when I was a little boy, I had kidney stones, and this is back when like modern surgical technique for taking care of ones too large to pass was like just starting to reach the not dark ages of surgery. And I spent a week in the hospital while they tried to decide what to do. Now, this seems like going to be obvious, like, oh, he has kidney stones too big to pass. We should probably just open him up and take them out. No, they thought that'd be too traumatizing. So I sat for a week in excruciating pain, being randomly filled full of painkiller drugs, while they tried to decide if they were going to open me up or not. Which after a week they decided not to.
Nice.
This was right about the time that ultrasonic blasting was becoming a thing in surgery, where they could go in and use ultrasonic waves to blow up kidney stones, which is pretty fucking metal. Because when you're a 10-year-old, they're like, we're gonna shoot your kidney stones with an ultrasonic beam, and they're going to explode. And I'm like, yeah,
wow.
I just remember I was always freaked out because people would be like, do you remember the Oklahoma City bombing? And I'm like, what? No, I don't ever remember that happening. Like, I know it happened, but I was like, I never remember the day it happened. It was the day of my surgery. I was literally out cold the entire day.
Oh, wow.
I remember.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I just remember, like randomly one day we were like talking, and my mom's like, yeah, the reason why you don't remember that is because you were out cold all day. And I'm like, huh? She's like, that was the day they blew up your kidney stones. I'm like, a day that will live in infamy.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick turnaround process for me, because they got rid of the blockage.
Oh, yeah.
And then my doctors got together and had a little discussion, and we're all like, well, if we don't remove it now, it's just going to keep getting blocked, and it's going to make the pancreatitis even worse. And I'm like, fuck it, we'll remove your gallbladder, and then, hey, you'll go home that day.
Yeah, because once the blockages were not going to happen anymore, your pancreas could start recovering.
Yep. So, technically, I might still have pancreatitis. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the pain from it anymore, so I think it's finally settled down.
Why do you keep looking over there?
I assume now that your bile ducts
I'm trying to remember things from dates.
I'm pretty sure since your bile duct isn't getting blocked anymore, you're probably going to get better, even if it's still there.
Yeah.
Recovering now that it's not getting inflamed.
But yeah,
much like a kidney stone, it's not blocking the thing that it feeds. So.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really sad. I have like nothing to add to this conversation. I am like the healthiest person between all three of us.
Yeah, you are. But hopefully I can spend the rest of the year
out of the hospital.
Well, except for like general visits, because I still have my post-op
follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a scheduled thing.
Yeah,
that's not.
Hopefully, I stay out of the emergency room, and hopefully, I never see the fucking ICU again. I have managed to not see the ICU. Not that I've ever been a patient there, but I do not like being in the ICU.
It's been a year, right? Yeah.
I didn't even know you went into the ICU. Holy crap!
No, I didn't. My parents did.
Oh.
Yeah, I just never want to see the place again.
Yeah.
At one point, they were both there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, generally, if you're in the ICU, that's bad news. You're in dire straits.
Like, again, lovely staff, but it's
a
place you're there for a terrible reason. Like, the night nurse guy was so awesome. He got me the recliner bed. He kept bringing me drink and food when I was staying overnight with my mom when she was there.
When I would get there really late, like, he'd run in and, like, go around the room. Would you like anything? Would you like anything? Would you like anything? And he would, like, you'd have to tell him something that you wanted so he'd leave. Because he just wanted to take care of everybody. He was awesome.
Well, I mean, when people are in the ICU, and it's hardcore shit, not just for the person there, but for the people surrounding them. I mean, my grandpa spent a month about 5 years ago when he had a fungal infection of his lungs so bad that basically he lost one of his lungs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he almost died. It was shocking. We were fairly sure that was it for him, but the surgeon was amazing and he brought him back. It was a real touch and go, month. And I remember nobody really remembers it, remembers what was going on, because I remember that was the year I graduated from community college, and I was totally it just. I went and took my finals and then went to the hospital and just completely blew off everything else.
I think I would too.
I think I remember it was hilarious because I was also applying for my my undergrad degree, and I didn't even meet my advisor until fall that year because I didn't have time to go to any of the whatever you want to call it, the meet and greet sessions. I don't remember what they call them, the orientation, because I was at the hospital with my mom all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah. In general. Yay.
Yeah.
Kiki's healthy, and that's the important part.
Kiki's healthier.
Hey, if you're not in the hospital, you're healthy in my book.
Yeah. Yep. Kiki is back to her normal pain pill regimen, which is a good thing.
Yes. But
I do have some leftover biggins, so that's also nice. Because when I came home, it was only the first few days where it was really painful, and that was more because it was just a bitch to get out of things like the bed or a chair. It was really when only the pain happened.
So what are we doing? Update episode?
Well,
this is what's been going on.
Well, kinda, because we haven't recorded in a while.
No, it's been a while.
Because and the last episode that's up was recorded the night before I went into the hospital originally, but I wasn't able to edit it until I came back.
And I haven't been on the show in forever.
Well, I think you're normally working when we record.
Yeah, you've been working.
I don't have much.
And in general, I only recently started doing updates to the site at all, so. I mean, I realized we don't have fucking fans, but still.
Should I do an update? I still work at, I still work in hell. I'm trying to get out of hell.
You're just going to a different hell.
Yeah. What is it? I'm a lot happier nowadays.
Yes. You've had someone new.
Yes. Grieve got rid of person.
Okay, get rid makes it sound like you murdered them.
Okay.
You ended a relationship you were no longer happy with and are now in a happy relationship with someone else.
There you go. I think that's actually it for my... That's it. That's all that's happened in the last 3 months.
You got a new kitten.
I got a new kitten. She's so adorable. Her name is Akiko.
Awesome. Awesome to the max.
So let's talk about anime, I guess.
You mean the stuff that I buy but don't watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bones has started buying stuff off of eBay now. And...
Oh, God.
I got another shipment today!
Yay!
What did you get?
I don't even know. I did this blind. I bought,
oh, my God.
Here, hang on. I bought... Okay. Background information. This is the Haruhi Suzumiya movie. You guys talking to me can see it, but people listening can't. Super rare. It came out right before Bandai closed its doors in America.
Oh, wow.
Routinely, this version with the Blu-ray goes for over $250,000. I got it for $100 with shipping.
Wow.
They seem obscene, but it's still $150 less than I should have spent. The guy was also auctioning something else. I auctioned blind because no one else had auctioned on it.
You don't know what it is? At all?
No. Hopefully you don't already own it.
Oh,
no,
fingers crossed, fingers
I never
crossed.
heard of it.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Crossing our fingers will change the outcome.
Well, it needs to be something he doesn't already have and that he can share with us.
Yeah, looks like it's in good condition. Guy wasn't lying. Guy wasn't a lion.
What is it?
Maken Kai?
I have never heard of that.
Holy shit, look at those tits!
Wait, what? Wow! Holy crap.
Panty shot, right on
Oh my
front.
god, she's even doing a boob butt pose. How is her spine not broken?
They're.
Here's the other side. Here, I'll flip it around. There's.
Well, that's better.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
I mean, we're gonna still watch the fuck out of it, but holy shit!
Yeah.
I don't even know. Here, let me read the. Let's see if it's got a thing on it here. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. I got he kept the back thing that you normally tear off once you buy it. Okay. Macon Kai, from the director of Iki Tosen Dragon Destiny. Magic is their breast defense.
Oh god.
Enrolled in 10B Academy because the girl to guy ratio is like 3 girls for every guy. But this bevy of bombshells is actually a school where teens beef up their combat skills using a magic power thingy called a Macon. Redheads with wicked high kicks, shocking blonde bullies, and aggressive brunettes are everywhere, and every time there's a brawl, their clothes tend to disintegrate. Distracted by all the bouncy brawlers, Takuru has a hard time concentrating on his training. Things get sticky when the hornball can't figure out how to use the Macon. If he doesn't find his mojo quick, he'll be dumped by the school of his dreams, or destroyed by an attacker who's after his magic power thingy.
Really?
So I went looking for gifts, and I shall share
That's
those
a
with.
gift.
Are you gonna link me or what?
Yep. And hopefully I'll remember this.
Okay, so I paid I think I paid like $35 for this, and I think it was money well spent, honestly.
Wow.
This is a Funimation title that was released last December. I don't even remember it coming out. That must be how small the release was. However, I do own the first season of Iki Tosen, which I haven't watched, but I've heard stories about, so I imagine this is going to be good shit. Funny, I should say.
That one has a cat on her head.
She does. That's cute.
As their boobs move more than they are.
Yeah.
Wiggity, 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 wiggity.
That's just... I have never understood... Oh my god.
She's drawing a heart with her boobs.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff, huh? I imagine this is going to be good for a laugh at the very least.
As the two girls can't take their eyes off the screen of bouncing boobs.
Okay, bouncing boobies. That makes sense.
More bouncing boobies.
Let's do the second one. More bouncing boobies.
Find the cat on her head.
They just threw their clothes off.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the scene. Like, no context or anything, but...
How does one draw a heart with their tits? That's kind of amazing.
Apparently, like that.
Yeah, I think I could do it.
Technically, yes, but...
Well, no one's tits bounce like that.
Yeah, because at some point, they stop going up.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, give me a really big canvas and some paint.
Well, okay.
I could do it.
Yeah, but that was an outline of a heart, not smushing it so much that eventually you make a heart. Because you could do that with any body part.
I know, but
hell, just paint
horny
your
guys will pay more knowing that it was made with titties.
Just paint your ass and sit down.
How much do you think that would get me?
There's someone who already does
that. Damn.
Well, it depends. I mean, like, you know.
Now, if we made video, you naked, while doing it, that'd probably, the video plus being able to buy the prints.
I think I could sell that. I think I could sell that for like $10 a pop, maybe 20.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how long it is.
Cheap paint, not so cheap that it hurts you. Obviously,
I don't get naked in front of cameras.
Well, then it's
we would just use acrylic body paint. No one would know the difference, and it would be skin safe.
So anyway,
because Cupcake has not thought about this at all.
Let's discuss other animes.
Well, I mean, other than that, we finally sat down. Let's say, kind of both sat down and watched the K-On! Movie.
Yeah.
It's just basically a 2-hour-long episode.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Did I see that?
Yeah, you saw that.
Oh, okay.
I made you watch that.
I somehow expected it to be more climatic, and it wasn't. It was just like,
well, because it's like it's slightly after, slightly before the end of the show. I forget exactly, but yeah, it's just them having an adventure together.
It's always cute. K-On! Is adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. It's weird how the movie rehashes the last episode of the TV show with them playing the song for Azusa.
I want the soundtrack.
She has it, I think.
Yeah. We're busy recording. I'll give it to you later. Do you have your flash drive?
I'm like, please?
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you a bunch of stuff later. Well, I mean, it only took you forever to watch it, but how did you enjoy it?
It's a 2-hour episode. I don't know what to say. Like, I expected more out of it somehow. Like, it was going to be more climatic, but, like, it really was just... It was kind of a rehash of the feelings you got from the last episode of the senior girls going off to college, and Azusa kind of, like, them making sure she's still got friends and the club is going to continue on, and... It was nice to see how much Sawako cared. Like the line about, well, I had airline miles to burn. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
They're about to go. I might as well use them. My girls went to London. I'm going to London.
I like that
so
excuse.
Strange.
But she's only there for like a few hours.
Yeah, she was there. What she said, she got in the night before the concert, was there for the concert, and then left the same night with them.
Yep.
And came back to Japan. I did enjoy the end how the girls were like, well, what are we going to do for Azusa's graduation trip? Yeah, we'll have to go on that, too. Won't we be in college? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
And,
I do hope that someday they adapt the College Days manga.
Yes, please do this. Please do that.
Well, actually, both College Days and after K-On! With Ui, Azusa, I can't think of the other two girls' names.
See, they continue stuff like this, they finish stuff like this, but the stuff I really, really, really like, they can't even do the whole story.
Well, it's not their fault that either they lost money, didn't have the rights, or people didn't watch them enough, so they weren't opted for more seasons.
What was it that you liked so much that they didn't finish?
Fruits Basket.
All right, Fruits Basket is Wait. Fruits Basket is really interesting. I just read the article about why it didn't get continued. It was super popular. Super popular. It wasn't a matter of them not wanting to make more. It just turns out that the guy... Alright, so the lady who wrote Fruits Basket, right? Super anal, super, like, micromanaging, right? She loved the director that she had for the first season. He absolutely hates her guts. She refuses to continue it without him, and he refuses to work with her.
Oh my god!
So that's why we never got any more Fruits Basket. She won't let anyone else direct.
Okay, so now I know where to direct my hatred.
Both of them?
Both of them?
And sometimes, it may not be finished now, but it might be finished later, because it's a bit different there. Like, an anime can be really old, and suddenly there's a new season. Just because...
Yeah, just that Sailor Moon.
Well, that's a reboot, but still, what is it that... I forget what's getting another season, but it like has...
Yasha? It went like 15 years before they did Final Act.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a mixture of something happening in the studio, or they're waiting for more manga, because some people don't like when you just make shit up.
Well, like, the biggest problem they have is stuff like Hunter x Hunter and like One Piece, is that the people have the manga artists have to move fast enough so that they still have material to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they take too much time off, they like run out of material, and they have to do like what happened to Bleach, where they have like 3 seasons of filler before they get back to, you know.
Which occasionally an anime will have this weird filler section. It happens to adaptations sometimes. Hunter x Hunter is sadly going to have to be on hold for a while because the guy who does the manga hurt his back. He can't do it anymore.
Well, see, because there's
this
not
is Sailor Moon
lot...
herself's husband. He's my favorite manga artist ever. I can't think of his name, but He's awesome. He wrote Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Which makes so much sense when you see Yu Yu Hakusho next to Sailor Moon. You're like, oh god, they were stealing ideas from each other.
Hey, sharing.
Sharing. Because sharing is caring.
I always love the fact that in her biography, it states that that her son's nickname is the Little Prince, which is a riff on her husband's nickname in the manga industry is the Prince of Manga.
Aww.
On the sharing is caring thing though, don't share STDs. That's not caring. Also, don't share needles. I don't care how cheap it is. Don't share needles.
Also, don't share tampons.
Wait a minute.
Okay, don't share used tampons.
How cheap are you that you have to share needles? Like, I mean, unless you're like a broke ass junkie, dude, Lancettes are not expensive.
And it's mostly a broke ass junkie thing.
Yeah.
How did we get into that?
No, I mean seriously, my grandmother's diabetic. You can buy like 1,000 Lances for like $10, even without insurance. Needles are not expensive by any stretch of the word.
I'm going back to the manga thing. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, then because there's now an explanation for maybe it wasn't popular or maybe it wasn't finished, but, there was a manga that I read the whole thing of, and it was after it was finished that they did an anime, but they only really did half the story.
Wasn't popular enough.
Okay.
Well, what was
it? I loved it, Karakano.
I've never heard of it, so.
In American, it was His and Her Circumstances.
That's really good. She actually knows the story. I can see it in her face. Yeah. Who was the director? Who was the fucking director?
I don't remember his name.
Hideki Anno. Famous for what? Neon Genesis Evangelion. He's a dickwad. Yeah. He could not get along with the author.
Oh. And sometimes it's just as simple as that, because the author, depending on the contract in the studio, may or may not have like any creative rights, or if they don't actually have real creative rights beyond saying, no, you can't have the rest of my manga, and they don't like the direction of the anime went with, or the people making the anime don't like the direction the manga went, or something.
The thing that usually happens today that didn't happen in the past with stuff from like the 80s and 90s, like Karakano, like the original Oh My Goddess animes, a lot of times what happens now is that your manga publisher, like whoever the author's like manga houses or publishing houses, will have a lot of control over what happens. And generally these days, if you're a big name artist, that by proxy gives you a lot of control, because they're out to make sure that your product is well represented.
Because you could go on the news and be a douche.
Yeah.
What now?
Because you could go out into the public and be a douche, and that would hurt the sales of your anime. So.
Yeah. Those were just the only two I could think of where I was seriously pissed off. Like, I read the entire manga and went, oh, there's an anime! And, like, completely freaked out. I would otaku.
Is otakuing a verb?
Yeah, is that a verb? Did I otaku?
Not really. Otaku is a thing.
I fangirled and all over the place, splattered on the walls. And then went, where's the rest of it? And I cried. No, I seriously cried when I got to the last episode of Karakano and when I got to the last episode of Fruits Basket, and went, where's the rest of it? I went through a whole bunch of research. I had Kiki look it up. I had a couple of other people look it up, and like nobody could find it anywhere anything about it continuing, and I'm like sitting there crying.
Consider how badly the original TV series for Hellsing went off the rails, and then like look at what they did with Hellsing Ultimate. Like, there's always a chance that someday they'll come back and redo it, but it can take a while. I mean, look at the new Sailor Moon. Like, theoretically, it's low budget because it's not being sponsored by anybody, but like they're really going like toe to toe with the manga, trying to follow it faithfully.
Mm-hmm. I suppose we can talk about Sailor Moon first one. You're slightly behind, but whatever.
I'm a little behind. But
I'm behind too. I haven't seen the latest episode.
I have because I'm mean.
No, I'm kind of mean. There's a few days I could have come over and watched it, but like, I don't know. Some days I would rather just sit in my room and like gradually pass out and like not go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, obviously, with how many episodes has it been? 4 episodes.
4.
Been put up so far. I mean, it's not like frame for fucking frame the manga, but it is essentially the manga so far.
I thought you said I was 3 behind.
There's been another episode since I said that.
Oh. So there's been 5 episodes.
No, there's been 4 episodes. You were 2 behind.
I am 2 behind.
You're 3 behind.
Yeah. Because, which is a bit sad because we're getting a lot of the technology from the manga, and me and Bones were really looking forward to them taking advantage of like modern technology because they have the communication wristwatches, which they had in the manga.
So they're essentially just doing the manga.
Well, no,
they're not updating it.
No, it's still in an updated setting. Like Yusagi has a laptop,
but they're not.
But like the magical items are essentially the ones from manga.
Yeah, she has a transformation pin.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing because pens are still a thing.
That's fantasy. What I was getting at was that theoretically they're radio watches, but in this time frame that we're in now, not the time frame it was written in, that's silly because everyone, and I do mean everyone in Japan, especially all of those girls being from, unfortunately they don't want to say it, but fairly wealthy families would have cell phones.
Mm-hmm. Their financial situation is well enough. But yeah, I mean, you could have easily, like in the live action, they had cell phones, which again implemented the disguise thing into the cell phone. But again, you can also sell the disguise pen, and they're selling the pen set. Yeah. So I get why they went that direction, but the communication could have been done. We still haven't seen Ami's computer. I don't remember when she got it in the manga. It may appear later, and I'm worried that it's just going to be the same DS-looking thing.
Yeah, I would kind of like her to have an update, but it's probably going to end up being like a smartphone.
Well, no, we were thinking just get rid of the computer because just the visor.
Yeah, the visor works perfectly well. Have like kind of like a projector thing, and if she has to do anything, she's just like pretty much reaching into air and going like
do it with her eyes. That also saves you on animation.
In a world where Google glasses are a thing. Literally, her heads-up display goggles are an actual thing that exists in reality. Is not prototyped. Is an actual consumer item that is available for purchase.
Wow.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Her heads-up display data glasses are a thing. They exist now. They're not science fiction. You can buy them.
They sound science fiction.
Well, earlier, hubby and I were reading the news. They 3D printed a new, essentially partially, but a new spine for someone.
Yeah.
We have 3D printers.
Bioprinting is a thing.
We print things to put in the body.
Oh my god.
You can buy a printer for your home. Now, obviously that thing can't print like that, but you can print yourself little figurines and shit.
Wow.
Now remember, kids, though, for the at-home 3D printers, if you're going to make yourself sex toys, print the toy and then resin mold that, because the material is not
strong enough.
Well, it's not just strong enough, it's technically not graded for sex safety. So it can still get bacteria caught and whatnot.
It's not food safe.
Yeah, so
because that's really
still you could make your own dildos. Just you got to take another step. So instead of modeling it in clay first, you print it first. You model it on your computer, and then you make a resin mold.
What it's going to come down to is they're going to have spools.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
They're going to have spools of food safe plastic resin. And so when you want to make a sex toy, you'll just insert, food safe plastic spool instead of prototype plastic spool.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I need you to like send me a link to this.
Home 3D printers are still out of your price range. They're not like ridiculously expensive, but they're still like way.
They're multiple thousands of dollars, and the materials are hundreds of dollars.
Because people forget the part where you have to buy the material, or the printer doesn't just print shit out of air. But it's still, like, revolutionizing how we do things, and, you know, I mean, sure, there aren't fucking flying cars. I would argue planes are flying cars, but whatever. But really, if you had a jetpack,
like
you would just kill yourself. So I'm okay with where technology is.
Planes are more like flying buses. Charter buses, and
Well, you can get private planes or personal planes.
Yeah, so those would be like poor. Flying cars.
Yeah, we're poor. You can buy a kit and build a fucking plane in your backyard
that will actually carry you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Theoretically, the entrance. Wait, what do they call it? The entrance fee to becoming a certified pilot are high enough that only the rich will do it.
Yeah.
So it keeps the poor from owning their own planes.
Mm-hmm. You can buy your own droid though.
Or middle class, whatever you want to call it.
Well, the middle class is dying, so.
Yeah, there's just the upper class and the lower class.
Well, it's not dead; it's just dying. Because most of the middle class ended up in the lower class now. Because they, leveraged more than they had because that's what they were told to do, and then it crashes and it's like, oh, you owe us money now.
Nobody likes that.
Back to anime though. So
yes,
like I'm a little disappointed about the lack of magical girl technology we're seeing. I mean, Usagi's computer was adorable. It had a little bunny on the back, and she's running Windows. And she hacked the CD by pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Seriously, she says, I'm gonna randomly press. You saw the episode, but apparently you don't remember.
Oh.
When Amy shows up.
Yeah.
I warn you, I still don't know anything about computers.
That was still, like,
hilarious.
Completely, like, I thought I had missed something.
I do like Luna's computer that we see on occasion where she's got, like, info on people. That's nice and high tech. Compared to the classic anime, at least. I don't remember
what. Is that in the manga?
I don't remember what. I know she has a secret place where she goes to, and there's a computer. I don't remember what it looks like in the manga. So I can't say if it's just a copy or like an updated copy, but I mean, overall, I'm happy with Crystal.
I'm happy with what I've seen so far. I mean, I think that they drew the girls too skinny.
Well, it's shoujo.
I know
it's a lame excuse, but that's how it's done.
I know, but they're just too.
They're gazelles.
Yeah. They have arms, they have legs, and then they're tiny.
Well, yeah, shoujo is pretty much arms and legs.
It's like somebody drew a stick figure and then put clothes on it. Like,
you're just describing shoujo.
Yeah. Why have I been reading and watching this stuff for so long?
Because
hello, body issues.
Because the patriarchy.
Like, the patriarchy isn't exclusive to America. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not concerned about the 3D animated transformation sequence. Like, really, my only issue was that the bows look like oddly rubbery, and that's because it's cheap 3D animation, so the lighting is bare minimum. But I like, because really the transformation sequence and the will punish you parts most of the time are the only reused things, because their attacks are done in episode in time, so they don't have pre-made up attacks, which is kind of nice. So I feel like the 3D animation was a nice step for something that you have to reuse a lot, / gives it this kind of otherworldly feel.
Although I kind of like the idea that, I was hoping that they would have taken it a step further and, like, they have wardrobes, which I understand people are drawing.
Well, yeah, this isn't technically even airing on TV, so this got a very limited budget. That being said, we do occasionally see, like, some cute things, but most of the time you're going to see them in their uniform or their sailor suits.
Yeah. Or, like, well, because in the original anime, like, for one whole season, this is the out of sailor uniform, out of school uniform, she has one outfit. Unless it's a special occasion.
Well, that's There's actually a Tumblr dedicated to just the fashion of the classic anime.
And they each have, like 2, maybe 3 outfits?
No, they actually have, 10 outfits between them. Excluding, special time dresses.
So,
No. Each character has, 10 of the girls, at least.
And if you watch...
And I don't remember them having that much.
They'll steal pieces from each other.
Especially Minako, she's the biggest offender of wearing outfits you've seen on other characters.
Oh, God.
Which I liked because it's a subtle hint, maybe not intentionally, but a subtle hint that they're girls and they fucking share clothes. Which is adorable.
But you probably won't see her stuff on the other girls.
I don't remember. Occasionally you see, certain outfits, or you could argue parts of outfits that were a few episodes or maybe previous season on one character and it's on another character now. And there are some outfits that they wear obviously over and over again. In real life you do that though. But yeah, it's got a very limited budget, so a lot of the time, except for special occasions and transformations and disguises, you're probably going to see almost exclusively either school uniform, the fuku, or one other outfit maybe.
I'll put it this way to you guys. If it does well this year and it gets renewed, I guarantee you'll see a ton of improvement. If it goes another year around after this year, they go one more round or 2 more rounds. Every time it gets renewed, its budget will increase because it's popular.
Mm-hmm.
It's already sounding like they're gonna make gangbusters because whatever was the big anime con last weekend. The president of Viz Entertainment said that the first season re-release of Sailor Moon is the biggest pre-order they've ever had. It smashed all other pre-orders their company's had and may likely beat out some of Funimation's biggest titles for biggest pre-order ever in American history for anime.
Wow.
It's already I think 5 or 6 times as big as the average pre-order. In July they said we're gonna do it. It'll be out in November, and they've already smashed their pre-order goals by a long shot.
Damn.
So yeah, if they go beyond, you might see more stepped up. That and arguably a lot of the episodes happen on school days, so they're gonna be wearing their uniform anyway.
Yeah.
I like that there is variation, because even Ami and Usagi wear the same uniform. Ami wears a sweater with hers. So at least they've given some variation there. Even though she's always wearing a sweater.
I love the sweaters. Those are freaking great.
I do like how they change it for the season. You know that it's fall or winter because Usagi is wearing her long sleeve shirt. You know that it's spring or summer because she's wearing her short sleeve shirt.
I think she's just always wearing a long sleeve shirt now.
Really?
In the new one?
Because in the old one, you could at least tell that the season changed.
Yeah, but time was very weird in the old one in general.
Yeah.
We did see a gym uniform in one of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a gym uniform?
The gym uniforms are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it looks like underwear? That's what I always thought. It just looks like underwear.
Well, some of the times it's like a tracksuit. But yeah, essentially it's shorts or bathing suit bottom.
Spanx.
I don't remember exactly what it looks like. I just remember that they were running in a gym. And I want to say it was a tracksuit, but I might be wrong.
Most of the time when I watch animes or read mangas, their gym clothes are like little bloomers or Spanx and a t-shirt.
That's what normal gym clothes look like.
The only difference is ours are normally short, not Spanx.
Yeah. I always thought that was really weird. It's like you're having girls running around half naked. Because it looks like underwear.
Well, patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
That, and some people just find that cute. It depends on the manga, the theme, what the artist felt comfortable doing.
Yeah.
That, and a lot of, there's been articles about how a lot of, actual Japanese uniforms look more Western than their anime counterparts. But that's more because that's just the thing you expect from anime. It's iconic. Which is
it's weird because, now, like, now actual real-world Japanese high school uniforms look like American high school uniforms. Like,
yeah, the
they're...
blazer.
Well, like, nobody wears the blazer. Like, when I went to private school, nobody wears the blazer. Nobody wears the sweater vest. It's all Oxford shirts or blouses, and then, like, either the skirts or the pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody wears the extra stuff unless it's, like, the day that, like, the school founder or, like, school board or something is coming to visit. Because it's, like, you just don't wear that shit. It's extra. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, the preppy kids would, but, like, the rest of us, like, I always just wore, like, I freaking threw my tie away after, like, the second week in private school. And just wore a shirt and pants. It's like, yeah, fuck that shit.
I never got to go to a school with a uniform. And it wasn't until I got my very first job and I had to wear a uniform every single day that I was like, I like this. I don't have to spend any time in the morning thinking about what I'm going to wear. I just have to throw on my uniform and go. And I think I would have liked that in school, like not having to think about it.
So when I was in junior high, it was either the first or second year, but they tried to implement uniforms, but obviously it wasn't mandatory yet because it was the first year. So a lot of parents opted out of it and you had to write a little form. And the reason they didn't keep it on because it was just so difficult to figure out who was supposed to be wearing the uniform. I did because my mom's like, well, you know, it'll just be easier. Like, I don't care. I remember only hating it because of the polo shirts.
Yeah, polos suck.
And button-up blouses in general, like it was either a polo shirt or a button-up shirt. I had gotten my boobs only a few years before, and by junior high, I was a C cup and then eventually a D cup. Button-up shirts and polos
are the devil.
Don't work.
Because I would have to buy so big and then tuck it in that I had big ruffles coming out just so it would fit my boobs.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I hated. And that was more like I just didn't like the way it felt because of the tucked in shirt, because there was so much shirt.
Well, you remember when I had my uniform for the cashier's cage at the casino, and I had to, like, everything else on the shirt was way too big because I had to get it to fit across my chest.
Yeah.
And so I'm like tucking it in and I'm rolling up the sleeves and like everything else on the thing was too damn big. What they could do if they're going to have something like that is at least have, you know, like you get measured.
Well, this was a public school, like a private school might be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's, from what I understand, you guys are obviously much more aware of it than I am since you're affected by it, whereas I'm just kind of like a bystander. It seems like it's actually a thing with women's clothing that, like, it never fits right because women's shirts need to be, like, in a perfect world, women's shirts need to be tailored.
Well, yeah, because it's not simply you have wide shoulders, clearly you have big breasts, or you have small shoulders, clearly you have small breasts. Because like anybody else, we all come in different shapes and sizes, but the clothing you get in stores are averaged, quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, you know, you buy this size and it might fit this and this, but it's likely not going to fit this. And I'm motioning to my breasts while I say that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is often why I just buy men's shirts, because they seem to understand that you need chest room.
Yeah, that's really odd, isn't it?
Well, that, and one, usually cheaper. Two, usually, with exceptions, it won't really matter what brand I'm getting for what size I'll get, which is very different for women's clothing, because you have to pay attention to what brand you're buying, because their sizes are different from a different brand.
You also have to read the tag, because if it was made in a certain country, then if you're a large, you have to end up buying either an extra large or a double X.
Sometimes
just
the other direction, but yeah.
Yeah, just depending on what country it was made in. I've never had to go down, but I've had to go up.
What blows my mind is like pants.
Yeah, if you
I had to buy.
Go ahead.
No, seriously, I normally buy, and don't laugh, I'm cheap. I normally buy the Walmart dress pants.
Oh, I don't care.
Because they don't last. Like, even the expensive ones don't last long. And I'm not going to spend $80 to $90 on a pair of pants that's going to last me 3 months and then fall apart. So, since they seem to all last about the same amount of time, I normally just buy the cheapest ones that last, about a season at a time and toss them when they get ratty.
Mm-hmm.
My weight has been up and down over the last couple of years, anywhere within a 20-pound range, but, I can easily fit into a pair of Walmart 40s. The brand name, department store 40s. I can't even get them around my waist. So I don't know if, they have, a random idea of what a circumference of 40 inches looks like on a human body. Because, I have a pair of 38 blue jeans sitting over there from work today, and I I've lost enough weight again that I can get them on again. But if they were Walmart, they would fit with room to spare.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've tried on stuff at I've gone to Burlington's and I've tried on a pair of jeans and the same size I've tried on at Walmart, and the Walmart ones will fit me, where the Burlingtons I couldn't get over my butt.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? They're theoretically roughly the same size pants. You can't even get them up.
Yeah.
I think it's an issue of
what?
A mixture of they're lying about the size slightly, / construction. Certain brands have more rigid construction in their clothing, so you better, fit our idea of that size or it ain't going on.
Yeah, I hate that. And I think that...
I'm talking Faded Glory versus Wrangler, for God's sake.
Yeah, and see, those two things should be the same size. I actually think that there should be a regulation for that. You always reach into the pocket of the pants that you buy. There's always that sticker that says it was inspected by somebody. Yeah, those inspectors need to be given a tape measure or something. And if something's not actually 40 inches, then it doesn't go.
Well, not like our pants tell us stuff like that anyway, because we have stupid women's sizes.
Yeah. I would actually much rather have...
For guys, it's just inches.
Which is, one of the reasons I tend to buy male pants. 2, I fucking like pockets.
Dude, what is it about women's clothing and no pockets?
Because you're supposed to carry a fucking purse.
I'm sorry. No.
What if you don't want to carry a purse?
I am wearing women's capris right now. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Wait, what?
4.
Okay, capris don't
5,
count.
6.
You said 2 words that don't go together. Men don't wear capris.
Yeah. Capris don't count because
I said I'm wearing women's capris.
Well, they said men's capris. I was pointing out
there's pockets.
Well, yeah, capris don't count because you buy them for the fucking pockets.
Oh my gosh. Women's jeans have pockets too.
Some of the time. Other times they have fake pockets, or they have pockets that shouldn't be there in the fucking first place because they barely fit your goddamn hand.
My personal favorite by far. My mother owned a pair of women's blue jeans, mom jeans.
Yeah.
They had a zipper that didn't go anywhere. There was a fly, but it opened into pants. Not like a fly like a man would have. It would unzip so you could use the bathroom. It was just there for looks. It was a functional zipper that just opened onto the pants pleat.
I can believe that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can believe that.
I literally I looked at her pants one day and I'm I was asking her, I was washing a load of clothing and I looked at her and went, your zipper doesn't seem to... She goes, I know. I'm like, but why would they put a zipper on a pair of pants that doesn't go? Wait, why do you even need a zipper? What do you need a zipper for there?
So people think you're wearing pants.
Actually, no, my favorite was the women's blazer that I bought to go with my dress pants when I had an office job. And actually, you have it.
Yeah, I do.
They had the pockets sewn up.
Yeah.
I had to open the pockets, and even after I opened the pockets, there was only 2 or 3 inches of room in it.
Enough for maybe your fingers.
Yeah,
so that you could do this. Because blazers are supposed to have pockets. Unless it's a slim blazer.
And see, I could have just went over to the men's area, bought basically the same exact blazer, and had actual pockets.
Now, I'll give you dress pants not having pockets, because it's supposed to be a slim look, but, like, general pants and jeans. Pockets! Like, I even carry a purse, but I prefer having my phone in my pocket.
This is how fucked up the economy is.
Okay.
My sleep shorts have pockets. Like, what do I need pockets for in a pair of shorts that I sleep in? Like, these aren't boxers. These are actual short, like, they're actual short sleep pants.
Nice legs.
Oh yeah, you know it, baby. You can tell I work an office job. Woo!
No, it's because as Americans, we do not dress to go to the convenience store in the middle of the night.
Or you're lounging around, you still need to put something in your pocket, or you're going through the drive-thru, but you need somewhere to put keys in your wallet.
My mom has a whole bunch of these for the summer like this for women. There are no pockets on them. Only the men's come with pockets.
Yeah, I know. I have a buttload of pajama bottoms that do not have, and sweatpants that don't have pockets. The ones I'm wearing do because they're men's.
Yeah.
Where in the meantime, I have 2 pairs of yoga pants. And they have zip pockets. And there's 2 in the front, 1 on each side, and they zip. And I can fit stuff in there. I can fit my cell phone, I can fit my keys, I can fit my IDs, my cards. I could just essentially go shopping in these yoga pants. And they're women's.
Well, it's changing a bit because people realized, oh wait, ladies will just go to the men's section. They don't care anymore.
Yeah, we need them to buy women's clothing.
To be fair, these are my work pants, alright? These are the pants I go to work in. I got a pocket here, I got a pocket on top of that, there's a pocket down on the leg. Now these are regular straight up Wranglers. There's pockets in the back, I got more pockets on the side. I don't even need this many pockets. I need a pocket for my wallet, a pocket for my keys, and that's about it. I've got like 10 pockets on these. These aren't even cargo pants. My cargo pants are over there. And they've got like even more pockets. I got a pocket for my cell phone and
going back to the women's dress shirts, I tend to buy
a fucking pack mule.
If I do manage to find a dress shirt in women's and it's white, I'm probably still not gonna buy it because it's likely partially see-through.
Oh boy.
Because you're expected to wear like 1, something over it, and 2, something under it. I'm like, what if I want to just wear the fucking dress shirt?
Then you buy one in colored.
But if I want white,
then go to the men's section.
Which is what I do.
Because for some
I
reason,
likely did that anyway so that it would fit over my boobs.
Well, every guy / girl, with of course the exception of you, that I have known that have worn button-up shirts, whether they got them from the girls or got them from the guys, they wear shirts underneath them.
Well, it's not that I don't want to have to.
Well, I always did, because when you buy one that fits you, and it's button-up shirt, you're more than likely going to get that gap.
That means it doesn't fit.
Yes, well, the big one was too big.
Yeah, exactly, that's the problem.
You go one more size up and it's
They don't make them in the right sizes, and then they try to sell us products to fix those things. When it's like, no, that just means your shirt doesn't goddamn fit. And, oh my god. I remember complaining about this once to somebody else, and they looked me straight in the face and went, then buy a minimizer. I'm like, so you want me to squish the fuck out of my tits in order to fit into a goddamn shirt instead of a shirt just fitting me?
Yeah.
And then wonder why so many women with like large breasts like go to wearing like hoodies and t-shirts and shit.
Yeah. Well, one, heaven forbid we put our tits on display because we're automatically whores if we do. Mm-hmm. And 2, nothing fits.
Oh, I got told because I always wear camis under my polo shirt because I'm uncomfortable if the shirt is too close to my neck. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm slowly choking throughout the day, so I have to unbutton it. But I always have a cami underneath. I'm not showing any cleavage. you can't see within 2 inches of my chest. But I got told that because I have it unbuttoned, I'm trying to put my chest on display. You can't see anything. I'm not wearing a see-through white cami. I'm wearing colored camis.
Okay. That'd be like somebody yelling at me because I wear a colored t-shirt underneath a button-up Oxford, but I don't button it all the way up because I refuse to wear a tie if I'm just working. Like, if I'm not going to a meeting with my bosses or the board of directors, I don't fucking wear a tie. So I wear either a polo or a button-up shirt with, like, the bottom 2 buttons loose because I hate having it, like, right up against my neck. It'd be like them going, "Oh my god, that's so unprofessional, I can't believe you're doing that." It's like, well, it's not like anything is exposed. Well, it doesn't matter, it's unprofessional.
Yeah, and I got told that my shirts are too tight.
Your shirts are not too tight.
But
what the fuck are you supposed to do?
If I buy them any bigger, they're gonna go down to my knees.
Yeah.
Because for some odd reason, they think that if you're like a double X in a t-shirt, that you're 4 foot tall.
Taller?
Or no, yeah, taller.
You're 6 feet tall.
That you're like 6 foot tall.
Well, yeah, that's the assumption often is that you're a taller woman. Heaven forbid you just
and see, what they should really do is have shirts like pants, where you have petite, regular, and long. That way, if you're super tall...
Yeah, they don't for us. And
they don't usually in shirts either.
With the exception of some high-end brands, they don't. It is not standard.
And I've been over to the men's section. If you look at the polos in the men's section, they don't have petite, regular, long.
Well, not at Walmart.
Yeah,
not at Walmart. But if you go to like Dayton's or Marshall Fields, they do. Because all of my
and how much is one of their polos?
About $30-$40.
Exactly. I'm gonna spend $10 on a polo because I work at Walmart. Bitching.
I just told you that you can get them. You didn't say what your budget was.
I work at
people
Walmart.
Are like, I can't believe they don't make
peanuts.
these. And I'm like, yeah, actually they do. You just have to buy them from a department store. Oh, that's completely unacceptable. I don't have that kind of money.
Exactly.
You just said they don't make them.
I'm just gonna have to make friends with a tailor. Buy shirts in my size and have them tailored.
Or, God forbid, learn how to do it yourself.
Me and sewing machines don't get along. I can't do it by hand.
I can do it by hand.
Fine, I'm gonna bring you my shirts.
Okay.
I just solved my problem.
I mean, that was one of the first things I learned was how to tailor my own clothing. Not well, but I can take in rips and seams and shit.
Sorry, I'm very used to doing shit to clothes, so.
I can mend. But as for,
if you can believe it, I was like, if you can believe it, I still haven't learned how to get really bad stains out of my clothing. My mom's still the only one that can do that.
She brings me her stained clothes, too.
Yeah.
Like, I shit you not, I was wearing one of these white shirts, and I had somebody bleed all over me. And I was like, well, that's it for that shirt. My mom's like, no, give it to me. I'll get the blood out. And I'm like, what? The blood's been dried in for like 4 hours. She's like, no, I'll get it out. Don't worry. And I shit you not, she handed me the shirt back the next day, and it was white as it ever was. And I'm like,
oh no, I learned something interesting. So I'm gonna leave out the really disgusting part. So I was wearing khakis one day to work, and I got blood all over them.
Yep.
Not going into descriptions.
You were on your period, we get it.
Yeah, you're a woman, we kind of figure out how you get blood on your pants.
And everybody's telling me, okay, well that's it for those, you're gonna have to throw them away and everything. No, I just took them in the shower with me, put some body wash on them.
Yeah.
Some warm
shampoo's great
water,
for getting
scrubbed, and blood's gone.
Stay tuned for part 2. This is part 2.
My mom uses like Crystal Ice shampoo to get dark stains out of our light clothing. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it essentially you need something to break up the grime from the fabric.
And it was just regular cheap Suave body wash. That was it.
What's really amazing, like if you get a
body
stain
wash.
and have time to get it under the water right away, you can get the stains out before they even set it. Like I learned this like in the last 6 months. My mom's like, yeah, if you spill something on yourself while you're eating or you're drinking, she's like, just take your shirt off and go run it under the wash tub. She's like, you'll take the stain right out. I'm like, what?
It doesn't work when you're at work though. And I was at work.
Yeah. No, at work it's not plausible, but I just like figured this out that like you don't have to like if you get it while it's still wet, it'll come right out. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, seriously, just rinse it with water. I'm like, I can't believe it's that easy.
Yeah, I learned a lot about stains during my junior high years.
Oh, I believe it.
Well, yeah, let's see. You're new to your periods, and your periods are fucking nuts. So you are never prepared.
You know, honestly, I don't know why anyone would ever want to be a woman. You guys just make me like so happy to be a man and to have a penis and not to have a bleeding period every month like clockwork until I'm 40 or 50.
It's not like clockwork.
It is never.
You cannot schedule these things. I mean, I have it
down.
There
are women that can, but
I have it down to like because I'm a lot more regular than she is. I have it down to at least there's about 2.5 weeks during the month that I carry an extra pair of pants in my truck, I carry an extra pair of underwear, and I start stocking up on tampons. That's not all I can do. It's still going to be random.
As a man looking in, like as a male observer of all this, what the fuck is up with the media and like every woman has a period. It's like clockwork every 28 days. Because because every woman I've ever talked to, my family included, my friends, girlfriends, no one has had a regular, like, clockwork, the same every time period. It's always, like, every 3 months, or every 6 months, or, like, once a year, and it's the worst thing ever. Yeah, I knew somebody, it was like that. Like, once a year,
they would just
have a period for a month, and it would just be the worst thing ever. And I was like, I literally was just like, oh my god, what do you do for that? And she's like, birth control.
Yeah, essentially. Well, a lot of women on birth control do have pretty clockworky. That's one of the benefits of birth control. It can really set up your cycle, which is one of the reasons a lot of women take it. Or you're on Depo and you just don't fucking have one.
Hello to 8 years of my life.
But no, that's just one of those myth things that have perpetuated is that like we can somehow control our period to be like clockwork.
Yeah, there's no way of actually controlling that.
Without medication.
Even when I was on the birth control where I got one every month, it still wasn't every 28 days. Mm. It was still, either 25 or 32.
You know what I mean?
We know what you meant.
Yeah, the TV, they're like, every 21 days or every 28 days, and I'm like...
Unless the product is distinctly for regulating periods, they will act as if periods are like this little thing that happens, and I gotta wear
they're like the worst thing ever, too. It's not like they're this, like, small inconvenience. They're a massive inconvenience.
Yeah, because
that's my perspective.
Yeah.
Well, because if we talked about the issues, men would have to hear about the issues, and then would turn off the TV.
Yeah. So they make it light and airy that way.
I'm not saying men would actually do that. That's the reason they do it. That's also why they use blue liquid that is in no way chunky or anything. Yeah. It's literally liquid instead of like a thick mucus. Like our period is literally like
shedding your mucus
bleeding
membrane.
from the arm or something.
Like?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if men puked up their intestinal tract or their esophageal tract every 28 days.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, even more, with the exception of a rare few these days, because we're fucking tired of it, but even like pain medication meant for periods is like, oh, you got a little headache, or oh, your cramps are mildly upsetting you. Like, no, my cramps have made me vomit. I can't get out of bed. I've gone to the emergency room because of my fucking period.
I have curled up in a ball, crying, puked, because the cramps are so bad, I've ended up with diarrhea. I have literally passed out at my register and not been able to stand, not been able to walk.
What blew my mind, my mother hinted, or not hinted, what am I trying to say, clued me in on this. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what the drug is even called, but the best way for me to describe it is for women that have the kind of periods that you're talking about where it's so bad that you're not getting out of bed or you're passing out, there's prescription strength like Midol, like an all-in-one pill, shot, whatever you want to call it, that they'll give to women who have like really bad, mind-bending fucking periods.
Here's the thing, even if you have a pretty standard period, cramps are still not fun. You may not be vomiting, but you're likely going to have a migraine at some point, depending, maybe not every month. But yeah, like, we have extremes, which are actually becoming kind of common, but, like, in general, the average period is not, like, some mild inconvenience.
It's a giant inconvenience.
If you can believe it, I actually empathize with you on the cramps, because being a chronic sufferer of kidney stones, I get fucking cramps like crazy. Not the same kind of cramps, but renal cramping is some of the most painful, mind-numbing, rolling on the floor, screaming pain you can be in.
Hey, I've had a few like that.
Yeah.
Well, so in all ways, my periods nowadays are a lot better. My earlier ones, when my body was still trying to figure out, that's a mixture of birth control and just age, because your periods change with age, which can be annoying for some women, because some women had nice periods when they were younger, and as they get older, they become really fucking shitty.
They get these god awful monsters.
Yeah. So, like, you know, even when, like, I have to occasionally go off my pills for one reason or another, you know, my periods are still fucking terrible, but not like when I was younger. That was mostly because, A, I didn't know what birth control worked for me yet, because I have tried many. Read that, many. And
circle it, underline it.
And, like, again, it was a once a year, but never in the same month. Sometimes more than once a year, because there's also bleeding and spotting, which is technically not a period that can happen in between periods. That's perfectly normal, but can come with all the symptoms of a period. And but you're not, especially when we were younger, it's only something you were really allowed to talk to, like, in a really emotional way with either other women, and better not be fucking women your age, because they know dick, or your mom, and maybe a doctor, if you are not embarrassed enough, and if that doctor wants to deal with you.
That's why I only had female gynecologists.
Well, no, I've had nice gynecologists, but I've heard horror stories about girls going in with their moms and the doctor not giving a shit because the period's just supposed to happen. Which is why I love Planned Parenthood, because they're like, oh, poor thing, what can we do for you? Because that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual health is essentially their life. But yeah, I luckily nowadays have a pill that works, and because I'm piss poor, I can get it for free. But yeah, it was hell growing up. Every few months, getting blood tested, trying new pills, you know, dealing with the pain, going to the emergency room because your body has just flushed out so much that you're dead. Not literally, but but yeah, periods suck. How did we get on this?
I have no idea.
Stains.
Stains. Yes. Oh, yeah. I loved my early teenage years because I was a competition swimmer. So basically, my mother would call me out from school for like 3 days because after the first like 2, she figured out how bad it was going to be. So she would call me out of school, but I still had to go to swim practice. So she would like load me up on like Midol, Pamprin, all that kind of junk, send me with a bunch of tampons, and oh yeah, that's fun. My very first one ever, I had a meet that weekend. So I wore a pad for about 2 hours and then had to use tampons, and I was 11.
Wow.
And that was, like, traumatizing. That was, like, horribly traumatizing. You want me to put what where? Why? Oh, because I have to swim. Oh, that's nice.
Bones accidentally left. You alright?
Sorry about that.
He was getting sad about the topic. He wanted to go away for a second.
I was trying to click back to my work page, and accidentally clicked over to the other screen where I had that open, and it closed it because I'm stupid. My phone is going nuts in front of us, and so I'm listening to you, but I'm checking on some things.
Okay, well, at least, like, luckily there's better period-related technology these days. Like, they make a sports pad now. It's made out of a rubbery material. You could swim with it.
Oh, wow.
Woo! Yeah.
See, I probably still just use a tampon because pads
we're used to
are weird now.
Me and you are used to tampons, but demi cups are more widely available. There's other options as well.
Although I need to find a tampon that actually does what it says, which is, expand and, like, nothing gets past it and stuff, because I'm sorry, but they go up there and they don't do anything.
Well, yeah, most of those
they're just illegal in this country due to toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, even the ones that say they expand, they don't literally mean the expansion they show in commercials. Because that's impossible.
I have because, okay, say the average one is 5 days, right? Say it lasts for 5 days, right? Which I've gone only 3 or I've gone 7, but say the average is like 5 days, right? Mm-hmm. And, I get super because, I've been sexually active for a number of years. That thing has expanded, whatever, right? And so
you make it sound like super tampons are like some fucking pole you shove up yourself.
It feels like it sometimes. And so, like, the first couple of days, I have to go and change it every hour. That doesn't work very well when you work. Like, because most of the time, unless you get a sympathetic female, they don't care. Your break is in 2 hours, you have to wait 2 hours. Oh, well, if I have to wait 2 hours, then you're going to be standing behind me with a mop. Because that's what's going to happen. Are you going to buy me a new pair of pants? No? Then let me go to the fucking bathroom. Because that's what I need to do. I've had to stand in front of a male boss and go, if you don't let me go to the bathroom right now, I don't care if it's not my break, if you don't let me go right now, you're going to be buying me a brand new pair of pants so that I can keep on working. Because that's what's going to happen. And they've gotten so embarrassed that they just let me go.
Well, it's like,
they're supposed to let you anyways. You're not supposed to have to threaten them. Because I've had to say I'll call corporate. I've had to say that I will talk to the store manager. Because you get these unsympathetic women who either have really nice birth control, or they're on some kind of shot where they don't have a period anymore, or they're so old that they're menopausal and they don't have it anymore.
And that would be nice.
Or you just get the ones that are horrible bitches and they're not sympathetic at all.
Well, yeah, because we're trained to be terrible to one another.
I'm not.
Hi, dog who just opened the door.
How did he do that?
And no, you were in a different way.
Who?
Like, trained to put down other women. We've gone over this conversation before.
Oh, yes. It's a normal thing.
It shouldn't be. That's
Should I make him move?
Just close the door. Oh. I think, yeah, the air pressure makes it so that they can just fucking push it open.
That is hysterical. I have never seen that dog open a door. Okay. But, yeah, and it shouldn't have to be that way when I know that men don't really have anything where, once a month they, magically have to be sympathized with. But, unfortunately, we're women, and until
we're female.
Okay, we're females. And essentially until they figure out a way that either, we can all have some magical pill that we can take and, oh, now I can go to work without having any accidents or anything. We need to be sympathized with. And if you stand in front of a fellow female coworker, or God forbid a male coworker, because they never want to hear about any of those, and you're going, I need to go to the bathroom because I'm having my feminine issues at the moment and I don't want to have a problem, they need to, instead of arguing with you, instead of telling you, oh, you still have another hour until your break, they need to just go, okay, let me jump on the register, or let me grab someone to jump on for you. Let me get someone to take over so that you can go do that for a minute. Because it really, at the max, it's going to take you, 5 minutes?
Unless you have, cups, which in reality only take, 5 minutes to deal with. Yeah, it's in. Maybe you have to pee, because I always apparently have to pee after I switch.
Yeah.
I think it's a pressure thing. But yeah, it's essentially you're going to the bathroom, in and out.
Yeah. And it's never taken me longer than 5 minutes.
The only reason it would take longer is because you had a complication. Like, the string broke, or you bumped your head or something.
Yeah, actually, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've bumped my head. But, really, you shouldn't have to argue. We're all human beings. We all have issues. Why can't, they just sympathize with you? Why can't they just teach these people, just be nice to other people?
Because our society doesn't teach that.
Yeah, I understand that our society doesn't really teach that, but...
You're an underling worker, you should be able to do exactly what I tell you to do, regardless of any bodily situation.
Yeah, that's why the next time they try to argue with me,
just go ahead and fall forward.
Yeah, I will make a fuss about it, because I don't like having to buy a new pair of pants just because they wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. That's ridiculous. That is a basic human right to get to go to the bathroom.
Going back to the stain thing though, as you get older, you still care about the stains on your pants, but at least for me, I don't, obviously I clean them and whatnot, but I no longer give a fuck about stains on my underwear.
Neither do I.
Their purpose is not, to be aesthetically pleasing. Their purpose is my comfort, and I don't give a fuck about the stain there.
Yeah. Although my mom still preaches about wearing clean underwear, because if God forbid something happened to you and you have to end up in the ambulance and somebody has to take off your clothes, oh, your underwear needs to be clean.
Let me put it to you this way. If you're in such a situation that they need to rip or cut the clothes off you, probably not worried if your underwear are clean or not.
Yeah,
and they're probably not even going to look at them.
And depending on what happened to you probably uncleaned your underwear.
Yeah. I never understood that.
That's one of those old things that we were taught and we still do, because every generation teaches it to the next, dress modestly, or, don't swim for so long after eating, even though there's no science in that.
Yeah, the reason why people got Charlie horses and cramps is because you're going into a different atmosphere, because you're going from land to water.
Well, it's a temperature thing.
And it's also a temperature
That's why every summer the news keeps pressuring people, saying the Sacramento River is fucking colder than you think.
Yeah. And you need to stretch. It's not about eating.
Yeah.
It's about, you need to stretch before you go into the water. And you need to slowly go into the water until your body gets used to the temperature.
Because every year there's going to be at least one kid who died because they jumped in the river and cramped up and got swept away, and now they're dead.
Yeah.
Also, people need to realize that rivers are faster than they think they are.
Yeah. I learned that at the the river that we have nearby, but it's in the other direction, away from the Sacramento one.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
If you get in, like, on the edge, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you start going out, there's a current. And it's like, I learned the hard way because I got caught up in the current. And I had to actually thank my lucky stars that I was a swimmer. Because it took, practically getting up to competition level to get out of that current.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared the shit out of me.
That, and people don't understand the concept of undercurrent. It's like the surface looks fine. Yeah, there's a lovely undercurrent that kills you.
Yeah. It can just drag you under.
There's this river. Well, there's this. It's like a river.
Let me put it to you this way. In Minnesota, it can be 90 degrees outside, like ambient air temperature, right?
Mm-hmm.
The water in the lake can still be as cold as 40 or 50 degrees. You may say, oh, it's not that bad. Try falling in the lake when it's that cold and that hot. You literally go into shock within seconds. This is why we have commercials in my state that state, doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are, always wear your life vest, because if you go into shock when you fall into the lake, doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are, if you're in shock, you're going down like a rock.
Yeah.
I had it happen to me. I fell into the river wearing a life vest. We were trying to tie the boat up to a pier on the side of the river, and I fell in. And I seriously, like, locked up within seconds. It was, because what happens was you basically fall in, and it's so cold it shocks you to open your mouth and breathe. Mm-hmm. You're underwater, you suck water in, and you're like, oh fuck, I did not mean to do that. But it's like a gut reaction because you're so cold. You're just like,
mm-hmm. Anyway.
So yeah, always wear your life vest, stupid.
Yeah. Periods suck. Water safety. Stains aren't that hard. What else to talk about?
Yeah, we've got.
Oh, let's go back to Sam and Crystal because I remember stuff I wanted to say. I do like the whole flashes of the past thing they're doing. Like Usagi was dreaming about the Moon Kingdom. When people touch her that are associated with it, they get flashes of the Moon Kingdom. I like that direction they're going. That's not really in the manga. Not until later, anyway. I like that it's, because everybody's in the fucking know already, so there's no point in trying to pretend that Usagi's not the princess. It's just people in the show don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no point in keeping us in the dark, so that's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, I really like that, what are these weird images?
Plus, I always thought that the openings and the closings to the show gave it away from the very beginning that she was the princess.
Anime opening and closing tend to be like that because they're made like normally after the fact.
Yeah,
and they'll show characters that don't exist yet.
Exactly. And there was
like when the creators are smart enough to have like 4 or 5 different versions that, as people
add people into it.
Yeah. What I loved was Best Student Council, where literally when it starts, it's just the main girl and her hand puppet, and then with every episode, like more and more of the silhouetted figures are unveiled until finally like all 30 girls appear in the opening like 10 episodes in. Anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would have been nice because there was absolutely no shock value. And see, I never read the manga. When I was originally watching Sailor Moon for the very first time, what I watched was the dubbed
where it name checks everyone and then shows it takes, I don't remember it very well, but I'm pretty sure it takes from the later opening sequence which shows her as the princess.
Yeah. There was absolutely, I had no internet when I was watching this, and I was watching this from USA, the television show, or the network, the television network, and I was watching it after school in junior high. I had no internet. I didn't know how to research television shows or anything like that. I didn't learn all of that until I met Kiki in high school. So I knew nothing. I got the simple fact that she was the princess from watching the opening before the episode and from watching the ending after the episode. So when it came up and they're like, oh my god, Serena, because that's what her name was when I was watching it. Serena's the princess. I'm like, yeah, I got that already, like, last season.
Arguably, it's also because the characters don't know. You're supposed to see it from their point of view. They don't know. They don't have the information we have.
I really think there should have been some real shock value, though. Because here you are, you should be able to follow the storyline with the characters. Like, you are finding out things as they're finding out things.
No,
there should be some shock value to it.
With exception, well, not with exception, because normally the character only knows something if the character saw it, and often they will break away from the character to show us other things, which means we get more information than the character has, which is the way it should be, because the character fucking wasn't there.
Yeah, but finding out that she was the princess, that should have had some shock value to it. I mean, other than the simple fact that...
Well, it doesn't help that they kind of just, threw out the whole Venus pretending to be the princess thing from the manga.
Oh god, yeah.
She just kind of shows up and is like, nope, I'm not the princess.
Well, no, when you watch the original Japanese one, she's all like, she tosses her hair and goes, you never know. And that's when they first meet her, and they ask her that if she's the princess, and she goes, just like, you never know.
No, but in the manga, she's literally running around singing and saying she's the princess.
Yeah,
because that's her job. She is the leader of the group, and she's like supposed to be bringing the enemy away from the princess. So I'm the princess.
Yeah,
that's one of because I also like the fact you guys haven't seen it, so this is a bit spoilery. But in the manga,
spoiler alert,
when certain things are revealed to Usagi, like emotions or information, she often gets a new tiara.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what? I missed you. It blanked out.
So, especially I don't remember later. I think that becomes less of a thing because her tiara becomes less of a weapon. But in the first arc, she gets a bunch of different tiaras because it's like a power up. Like in the show, remember with Rey and Jedi, when she's holding Jedi with her tiara and Rey sets him on fire.
Yeah.
Apparently her tiara got destroyed during that. I think that's how it happens in the manga too, actually. And so in the next episode, she fucking gets a new one from her romantic feelings. And then later, more spoilery, when she realizes she's princess, her tiara breaks again. Because the moon symbol appears on her forehead, it breaks the tiara. I believe she gets another one after that, but she stops doing any tiara stuff.
Yeah, but all the tiaras look the same.
No, they don't. They have different intricate designs.
Oh, well, I never paid that.
The original one, her tiara looks pretty much like everybody else's, and then they get more advanced and special, and then I think they only start changing with her outfit change in general, because she's not using it as an attack item anymore.
Yeah.
So it's purely aesthetic.
But no, I was gonna say that one of the only things that I ever found like an actual shock value was when Chibiusa shows up. Because there could be several different reasons why her name is Usagi. You know, well, as far as I'm concerned, she doesn't look like Usagi.
It's less of a shock in the original dub.
Except for the fact that she's got the same, buns, hairstyle.
She doesn't have buns. She has combs.
Yeah, it's still though. And she could have been a granddaughter.
She could have just been a kid from the future that was the child of a friend of Usagi's and got named Usagi.
But this is anime we're talking about.
Well,
which means that my theory is actually closer to her actually being Usagi's child.
Well, she's also talking about when she originally saw this, so this is like the dub back in the day.
Yeah, this kid shows up. Her name is Rini. I picked it all up
from watching Dragon Ball Z, where all of Goku's children have some part of his name in their name, and I'm going like, oh, really?
Yeah, it's all Go.
You have Goten, you have Goku, Goten,
Gohan.
Goku Jr., which actually isn't, it says great grandchild, but surprise, surprise. It's like, it would be like somebody being like, Trunks, huh? Hey, Trunks, who's your father? I really don't want to talk about it.
Because, their kids kept the naming scheme from Bulma's family.
The first time they meet him, they're like, Trunks, your mother is... Don't say it! Your mother is Bulma! Wait, who's your father? Well, I think that's kind of obvious, isn't it? What do you mean? Go Super Saiyan. I don't get it.
Then, in their defense, this was only, slightly Vegeta is not our enemy anymore, so the thought of him having children with one of them is just weird.
No, Kiki.
What?
Kiki. When he appears, Trunks is a baby. Like, the Trunks in their timeline is a baby. He's already born.
Yeah. Well,
that's why they're like Trunks, but that's Bulma's...
Yeah.
Bulma's your mother? Wait, who's your father?
Bulma and Vegeta. A relationship that is weird and yet makes sense.
It actually works as Vegeta stops being like a
because Vegeta has a lot of character development if you pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still sort of Vegeta, but he becomes douchey, and then he's generally not a villain at all. So
remember when Piccolo was pure evil?
Oh god.
Oh god, that's so old.
Like DBZ, I'm not generally going to go back and watch it, although I do love DBZ Abridged, but DBZ has a lot of character development, which is wonderful.
When DBZ starts, Piccolo and Goku have an uneasy alliance. By the time it finishes, we'll say 10 years in the future, they are best friends.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you trained my firstborn son in the art of martial arts, and, Piccolo ends up being, one of the world's greatest heroes.
Yeah.
The guy who literally 1 decade earlier has been one of its worst villains. I mean, mind you, he's the son of the original King Piccolo, but still, it's when it starts, there's an uneasy alliance between Piccolo and Goku.
Mm-hmm.
It's not they're not really buddy-buddy, but they're Piccolo's no one's gonna kill you but me. It's just the way it works. This guy's going down.
I think it helps a lot for the show that the characters actually age, so character development is kind of required.
Yeah, and they actually draw in the aging too, which I think is kind of nice.
Vegeta and Goku age,
well, that's because Saiyans live forever.
Yeah,
Saiyans live forever.
Kids become adult and have kids.
Yeah.
Well,
I love how they actually gave Chi-Chi wrinkles.
Yeah,
did you notice that at the end? Chi-Chi has wrinkles.
Her hair is also slightly less dark.
Yeah, they lighten it up
gets
a little
older.
bit.
I love the fact that Bulma's hairstyle changes a lot too, like a real woman would.
Chi-Chi doesn't change hers a lot though.
That's more of Chi-Chi's character.
Yeah, she's kind of set in her ways.
It's not the same hairstyle she had when she was a child from Dragon Ball, but still, the
hairstyle she
purpose.
The hairstyle she has as a young adult is the hairstyle she basically keeps throughout the entire...
Because Chi-Chi is very,
organized.
Yeah, she's practical.
Yeah.
And she needs a practical hairdo. She's living with a bunch of fucking half Saiyans and a Saiyan, and there are aliens everywhere. I ain't got time for my hair.
She literally is the proof of opposites attract. She's the really no nonsense, got her shit together. You made me a promise, Goku, and he's like, I made a promise? You promised to marry me. I thought that was or you promised my hand in matrimony. I thought that was a food.
Yeah, obviously they have a real relationship.
Yeah.
But
I love how their accidental
kid
relationship turns into a marriage that works, even after the kids.
I'm
and
sure,
everything.
she would like it if he died less.
Oh yeah,
but that's just par for the course.
He's literally the guardian of Earth.
Yeah, it's like
Kami has not been an effective protector since God, like halfway through Dragon Ball. He's an old man. Yeah. Kami's really powerful. Like, there's not a human on Earth that can stand up to Kami.
Mm-hmm.
Notice I said the word human.
Yeah, there are lots of unhuman things that show up on Earth. And obviously, clearly Goku and Chi-Chi have sex as they have children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that Vegeta and Bulma have more than one child as well.
Don't they only have two?
Yeah, they just Trunks and Bra.
I still find that hilarious. Their kids are named after underwear.
Well, Bulma is Bloomers. And what's her father's name?
Dr. Briefs.
Dr. Briefs.
Oh God.
I can't think of. She has an older sister. I can't think of her name.
What's his wife's name?
Hang on, let me pull it up.
I can never remember her name.
There's a wiki for that.
Just like I don't remember her older sister's name. She's not around a lot.
Bulma's older sister is named Tights.
Yeah.
She's in another one of Akira Toriyama's mangas. You have Dr. Brief, Mrs. Briefs, Bulma, Trunks, Bola, Bra in Japan, Vegeta Jr., and then extended family members King Vegeta, Tarbo, Gorei. Okay, Dr. Brief's full name is not given.
Maybe he never says. I mean, it's not like Bulma calls him by his first name or anything.
He's known simply as the Good Doctor.
Well, there are just so many characters, it's hard to keep track of. DBZ has a lot of, even ignoring like villains, unless you keep in villains who become good guys.
Ha 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 ha! Mrs. Brief's first name is Panties.
That's it.
Oh God. Panty and stockings.
I wonder. You know what? I bet you, Mr. Dr. Briefs is probably Garter.
Probably.
Oh God. Yeah, because that would be hysterical.
I think there's a decent number of people who in Dragon Ball are technically villains that later are good guys. Yeah. I can't name a lot of people from like...
trope and showing anime. That your enemies later become your friends.
It's done well. Like,
and your friends become your enemies.
No, consider this for a moment. Magical lyrical girl Nahona. The villain at the end of each major series ends up being a cohort and ally of her in the next series. She destroys Fate Testarossa with Rising Heart when she unleashes the Arc Wave Assault, where she basically unlocks the jewel inside of her staff and just blows her away with a massive shockwave blast. And the next series, they're best friends and they're working together. They defeat I can't think of her name. They defeat the next girl. She's the leader of their like anti SWAT team group in the third series. People they fight in the third series end up being the reason why her and Fate adopt Vivo, who is their daughter, who is the villain of the next series, or was the villain of the previous series. Mind blown. Alright, anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
I forget. Just that the character development in DBZ makes sense, because some of the time, and I'm not going to name check anything, but Western animation is not that great at the villain turnaround. It's not really great at that good guy becoming a villain thing either. Because normally it's just either they fell in love with someone, so automatically they're good, or somebody on the other bad side turned on them, so they ended up having to become good. And that's really lazy character development.
Yeah.
Whereas that sometimes happens at DBC, but it's also because they get time to become that good person. Like, I'm a villain, and then I'm sort of a bad guy, or maybe just douchey, or maybe we just don't sort of get along for whatever reason, and then more and more so, I become this other person, because my life has changed.
Yeah.
Changes matter in DBZ. And a lot of other shows. They pay attention to the change, whereas a lot of Western stuff, next episode, who the fuck cares? Like, even our movies sometimes aren't that great at that.
Yeah. The Japanese are much bigger on character development in general, like that people grow and change.
I mean, not that Go ahead.
I particularly enjoy how they have the big Spence is always, you meet a guy, he's the main character and hero of an anime. He's a whiny little bitch. I mean, like Luke Skywalker growth development, like, but I want to go to Tachi Station and buy some power converters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the end, he's, Master Jedi. I am a Jedi just like my father before me. Do not give in to the dark side. Anyway, you were saying?
What was I saying?
I have no idea.
Character development, something about it.
I mean, the easy route to make a bad guy a good guy is normally mind control.
Yeah.
Or, somebody dies. Or, I'm a good guy, a bad guy. Which is really overdone, but sometimes it's done well. Because it can be used as a way to show how the bad side is bad.
Yeah.
But often, especially if you're a villain lady, your turn to good will be because some good guy swooned you. Suddenly you don't want to murder people anymore. Because heaven forbid he think you bad.
Yeah.
You know what? You're honestly right. I can't think of any female.
I'm sure there are examples where it's been done better, but they're probably not the majority. So, that's normally what's gonna happen to you if you're a lady villain.
Yeah, lady villains turned heroes in American media. Just it happens because they fell in love with the male hero or a male hero character.
Either him or his cohort. Somebody.
That's a funny word.
And it's like, so what, were you a bad guy because nobody ever loved you? I realize that's a thing, but the second someone shows you affection, you don't want to murder people anymore?
Yeah,
that's really lazy. Even if that's how you want to go about it, it should take longer than a few minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I think about, like, DC Marvel supervillainesses turned heroes. It's like Catwoman. She did it because she's in love with Batman.
Well, that and her type of villainy was never really that bad.
She's roguish, not
excluding some poor writing on one-shots, but one-shots don't count. But yeah, she was more of a thief, and technically sometimes she's still a thief.
Yeah.
It's just that how she goes about is a bit different. Like, she's still, not a hero, but she's a hero. While still taking that guy.
She's a rogue, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like, maybe, like, there are some, depending on the continuity you're looking at, where it's very simplified. But it's not like Talia ever suddenly goes, no, I'm not a good guy. She's still a bad guy. No matter what. Yeah. Talia,
well, Talia was very clear that her beliefs are set. Nothing's going to change because what she believes.
Like, she may not always, be right
She's the
there.
reverse example.
Yeah, she may not always be right there if her father's around with what he wants to do, but she's probably around the same path of the world is shit and order and control, and if I murder the people in my way, whatever.
Well, I was gonna say she's literally a reverse example. She's got a powerful enough will that she can sway Batman to her side.
Which goes for some good writing, because Batman has a thing for naughty ladies.
Yep.
Not exclusively, but it depends on the
considering you have to consider that Damian Wayne either comes from Talia al Ghul or from Selena Kyle. It just depends on the continuity.
Yeah, currently call you. Because I think the new continuity erased her baby, but Catwoman did have a child with a mobster son, who she gave up and then has Zatanna erase her memories of her, so that, essentially for her safety. And because remembering the fact that she had a child that might be in danger from her was driving her nuts.
Yeah.
Good times.
But yeah, in general, ladies tend to get the short end of the stick in writing.
Yeah.
But that's more of a cultural thing and not necessarily something bad on the part of the writer. Sometimes it is. Often it is. Even if it's a lady writing the book. Yes. A man will fix all of your problems.
That always pisses me off.
It's almost interesting because of Harley Quinn, who almost has a reverse thing. She finally gets beat up so many times by the Joker, she just says, fuck it.
Well, because, yeah, it's a mixture because, apparently, she almost had a child in the new continuity. She knew that would be the worst idea ever, because the Joker would be the fucking father and that baby would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that he was going to more extremes. It was becoming more than just abuse. It was becoming mutilation, hurting her dogs, her death. So, that was a time to step out of it, because people often forget that Harley Quinn is actually a very smart woman. She's a fucking nurse or doctor.
And a Olympic level gymnast.
Yeah. Still not a fan of what they're doing with the fucking outfit. And I'm not up to date on the new continuity. I'm going mostly off of her interactions recently with Black Canary when she was pregnant. Because she refused to fight her when she realized she was pregnant. And even, started giving her gifts and visiting her in the hospital and whatnot, because she's a doctor.
I thought in one of
the...
Yeah. I thought in one of the things, Harley Quinn was a lawyer.
That might have been a one-shot. Sometimes she's just a nurse. Normally, whoever's writing it tries to remember that she's an intelligent woman, but often that will get muddled. To what extent? Because people just go, well, she's with a crazy guy, but it's not that simple. You could still be an intelligent person and be in the wrong situation. Intelligence does not alleviate you from any sort of thing like that.
It's just something that my mother used to always tell me. Love makes you deaf, blind, and stupid.
Well, that and a lot of people confuse romantic emotions as fear emotions because they're very similar.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you mistake lust for love.
Again, the fear can make your body do stupid things because it thinks it's protecting itself. When really, seriously, the body does some dumb things in an attempt to defend you, which puts you in worse danger.
Mm-hmm.
It is in no way a perfect thing, but yeah, like we were saying, there are some great characterizations out there some of the time. And then, but a majority, it's often, bad lady turned good because guy looked at her.
And I always think that's so silly. But it happens.
But that alleviates from a good woman just needs a good man thing. That's very ingrained into our society. Just like people always tell you, oh, you're not dating, or do you have a boyfriend, do you have a husband, do you have kids yet? Because as a woman, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. From the moment that you hit puberty, it's all about you ending your life.
Well, especially since when you look at a lot of the stuff geared towards us is about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's bad, because great stories can come out of romance, but it's often the same thing. Girl has slightly shitty life or super shitty life or boring life until she meets guy. Guy makes everything better.
Cinderella.
Not that a guy
Snow
can't
White.
make your life better. It's just that that's not really how you fix a life. I have to pee.
Hooray!
Am I supposed to keep talking? Yes.
Kiki drank too much tea.
What are we talking about again?
I don't even know. I've just been kind of following along.
Are we still on this topic of like girl, guy, random, my life sucks thing?
I have no idea. I am but a simple fisherman.
I don't know. Okay, sometimes, like, sometimes in life it actually works out that way, where, like, your life sucks and then you meet somebody and because they're there with you, it makes your life easier, and it makes it, easier to do the things that you need to do. And then, like, other times it's just knowing certain people who are going to back you up. And I think that should be reflected more, like, not it all about being, you need a love interest, but that you need you need to find people to back you up. And I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point.
Interesting.
So, any other animes?
Yeah, go. What now?
Go with what you were going to say.
I have no opinion really on the whole, like, being with somebody makes your life better or worse, because it's never happened for me.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's what some...
No, I mean, literally, like, I've had a couple long-term girlfriends, and honestly, my life was no different. That would probably explain why it always ended up with a breakup, because it was just like, my existence is not determined by who I'm with or hanging out with or what group I'm a part of. I exist as a singular being outside of those circles. Which is really fucking annoying in some ways, because, like, I constantly feel like I'm alone even when I'm with people. I don't really know how else to explain that.
No, that's a, personal existential thing. And really, that just means you're not getting anything out of the social interaction. It's not necessarily a bad thing, except for the fact that you still feel alone. But obviously a relationship wouldn't help that, because you'll still feel the same.
Yeah.
And that's another one of those things where, like, society constantly telling you to get into a relationship is in no way helping, and often may even be a hindrance.
I mean, it's not to say that I don't enjoy being with people, but I don't feel any different, like, when I'm with people than when I'm by myself. Because inside my head, I'm still exploring the universe. I don't really know how else to explain that.
It's your solo adventure through life. It's a common trope because it's overused, but it's not necessarily a good trope.
Just remember, kids, anime corrupts. Oh, it corrupts absolutely.
It's not just exclusively to anime, but yeah, like,
it's my new tagline. I had to come up with something for my descriptor on my instant messenger program, so I'm just like, anime corrupts. Well, it corrupts absolutely. Originally it was hentai, but that had too many questions asked at work, so I had to change it. Not to mention that my boss felt like it was a bad example of professionalism to have that being linked to me going out to our clients.
Well then, yeah. What was I gonna say?
I'm actually...
Don't question... I said, don't question at all what I do for a living and why that shouldn't matter. But hey, whatever. I'm not going to argue. I just went ahead and changed it.
Yeah.
So you're saying?
I actually find it really awesome. Considering that I spent like a good chunk of like the last 10 or more years basically doing nothing but like not nothing, but the majority of what I read and what I watched was hentai. And I have not read or watched anything of that standing in like 3 months.
Well, good for you.
That makes it sound like just because you watch porn, people watch porn because they have bad sex lives.
Sometimes you enjoy the storyline.
Well, no, for you, it's your sex life has changed, therefore you're not purveying sexual material. For me, I just enjoy watching sexual material.
I just love finding the weirdest crap I can find, honestly.
Sometimes it's like, that is hilarious. That is not how penises work at
Oh my god.
As long as I live, as long as I live.
Dude,
I will.
If someone could find me a good tentacle one, I might watch it. Because I've always thought that was hilarious.
That's because
the craziest
outside of the
thing
water,
ever.
real tentacles don't really have that sort of
size, shape.
Yeah,
feeling.
Because those sort of creatures become very flattened outside of the water.
Yeah.
Well, considering they're basically completely supported by fluid-filled sacs, take them out of the water, they're going to drain like a balloon.
Yeah.
Become all flaccid and soft.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, a lot of these tentacles are demonic in nature, so clearly it's a magical thing happening.
Or plant-like.
Yeah.
Like tendrils.
Yeah. Sometimes they're not literally like octopus or squid tentacles, they're just tentacles.
Or the giant monsters with the giant penises, where when they pull the girl down, she rips in half. I always thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of like realism. Like, that's not gonna fucking fit.
Yeah, that doesn't fit.
The Fujinari girls who have dicks like as big as a man's head, I'm like, how does that even work?
Because
like the girl's like, oh my god, but it's like, dude, that's like the size of a fire hydrant. How's that even hanging off of you? Where's the blood coming from to fill that? Like, do you not understand how a penis works? It's basically a water balloon.
Or like you watch it, and because it's so big, you're like they cut to like the girl's stomach, and you like can see it moving underneath.
I hate stuff like
you
that.
You can't. That's not.
Yeah, because it's like, that girl is dead. If you were seeing the penis pressed up against her stomach, that girl is dead. or there was one I found, you could see it moving under her chest. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, she's dead. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you look past that because maybe there's a magical element or whatnot, or it's hilarious as fuck.
Just remember, anime girls are part rubber.
Yeah. Anime tits in general are like that.
No. What I love is when a girl gets fucked so hard that the sexual fluids shoot out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's like, how did that happen?
Wait,
what?
I haven't seen one like that yet.
He'll come in her and it will shoot out of her mouth and nose and whatnot.
And I'm not saying it's clearly sperm because like it's white, it's opaque. It's not like she vomited. Yeah. It's like legit like that demon just fucked her so hard it shot out of her mouth. She's getting like fucked up in the sternum.
Oh my god. Like, no.
They're not even connected. How the hell does that work? Like, unless the dude's like fucking her in the ass, but then it's just like, wow, you just like skipped 100 feet of intestine, went right for the stomach, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I never said like I was explaining to my buddy Ted's girlfriend about what Guru porn is, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe people actually watch that." I'm like, "It's hilarious." She's like, "Hilarious? It's disgusting." I'm like, "It's hilarious."
A lot of Japanese weirdness comes from the fact that there are laws against depicting realistic sex. So that's where a lot of fetishes come from, because that's what they had to view. And it became like a real sexual thing for them. That's not exclusively why, because we have fetishes too and whatnot. But that's why hentai can be so fucking weird, because it's become a culture of weirdness.
Yeah.
Probably because the censorship laws were so stringent.
Because, like, this is a very sexual culture while being, at the same time, really super fucking repressed.
Yeah. Although I still say that,
which is essentially ours as well.
I'm pretty sure if I could remember all of them, the one that traumatized me the most would be different. But seeing as this is, like, the earliest one I could think of, and it did seriously traumatize me, I think it was one that either you or somebody else showed me in high school, where it was some kind of clan of women, and like this one woman wanted to leave or something, and she got chased down and raped with a wooden dildo that had spikes coming out of it.
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of it.
Still haunts my dreams.
I would too.
That being, I don't remember like the dub name of it. It was Ninja something.
Yeah, and it scared me. It
God,
literally scared me because
about.
as the way that my mind went, this was something that could actually happen to you. Like somebody could have a wooden dildo and put like spikes in it and like rape you with it, and all of a sudden you're like insides or outside, and it's something that haunts my nightmares.
Well, they are a real thing, but they were normally used as a torture device.
Yeah. I'm also the one that showed you the demon breaking women in half with its dick.
Yeah.
Because that was the high school monster something. I don't remember the name of it. But it was essentially there are demons and there are angels and there are sex war. And this one guy turns out to be king of the demons. And his girlfriend at the time is like the key to fucking heaven. So the angels take her and essentially make them their sex slaves, and he is trying to control his sexual desire so he doesn't murder the town in a rape rage, essentially. Like,
wow.
Really, his penis should only be going into like an angel or a demon, because there's only bodies that can handle it.
Wow.
Because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as more of his sexual desire does not become alleviated.
And see, I don't remember the storyline of like either one of those. The only thing I remember is just the really traumatizing part.
Yeah, I can't even remember like the full names of those things, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I also showed you La Blue Girl, which was big back in the day. It's not really now anymore because it's kind of lame comparatively.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything about La Blue Girl except for just the name. It's like it pops up and it goes, oh, I saw that. I can't tell you anything about it, but I know I saw it. You only
saw like the first 3 episodes. Which after that the storyline changes a lot because they've defeated the evil other clan, so it becomes more about just her being like what she was supposed to be originally, which was running around dealing with supernatural sex naughtiness things going on.
Is that the one where her pubic hair can fly out?
Yeah.
And, okay, so I remember something about it.
Yeah. And she
knew that was kind of scary.
Stop.
She knew the secret technique. What?
Did we just reference that the same anime with the girl getting raped by the giant spiked dildo is the one where her pubic hair flies out?
I don't think.
Oh no, there are 2 different ones.
I don't think that was La Blue Girl.
Yeah, one of her defense mechanisms is that her pubic hair, it glows gold.
Yeah.
And then turns into spikes and like flies out.
Yeah.
And like will just.
I mean, I personally felt like Papillon Rose was like one of the best like softcore pornos turned anime series based off of a joke about Sailor Moon.
That was funny.
That show is great. I bought that at random.
You've never seen it, but it's essentially making fun of the magical girl genre, mostly Sailor Moon, and it's softcore porn at the same time.
Here, hang on. It's right above here, I think. Yep, right there. I just farted. I squeezed my gut.
What I mostly remember from La Blue Girl is her werewolf friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is show. I paid $5 for this for my half price books. This is seriously one of the best TV series I've ever seen come out of Japan. Like, it's fun, it's cute, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is sexual. I don't deny that it's literally just the first episode is just smut because that's what it was originally. And then they made like a short TV series out of it, and it's just adorable. Because after the initial like soft porn, pilot, they had to tone it way down for TV. So like they got rid of the dildo wand and all the weird like sexual fetish power ups and shit. And they had to dance around the fact that they were doing it. Like, oh yeah, that's the little like animal familiars. Like, oh yeah, that one's in the shop this week. Here's this one that's like not nearly as phallic. And then of course right next to it you have my favorite show of all time.
Panty and Stocking.
Right. Now, you want to talk about dirty, almost softcore porn? This is the best show ever. I really wish I got the Blu-ray version, but this is fine. I have way too much anime.
Stalking is another one of those good examples of female sexuality through a male gaze that's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously clearly on display, but it's on display because it's within their control. They enjoy doing it from a realistic way and not from a women or sluts way.
It's literally a buddy cop movie where the buddy cops are women.
Mm-hmm.
They're just men working. They're just women working with what you would consider normal men values in a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
They have sex when they feel like it, with as many partners as they feel like it, and nobody shames them for doing it.
Well, they are shamed, but from a you're supposed to be angels perspective, not a women don't do that thing.
Yeah.
The perspective has changed, and they use their sexuality not only as to be themselves, but also as a weapon.
Yeah.
And I love that God
wears off and turn them into a gun. What now?
I love that God is a sexy pair of legs and lacy white panties.
It's great like that.
Oh,
it's so bad because I'm watching. I'm trying to finish up. What is it called? It sounds like Jubin-chan, which is an anime about beautiful girls from another dimension that charge up depressed people. I've talked to Kiki about this. You know the one I'm talking about, don't you? The one like the one guy can see them even though they're supposedly invisible when they're doing their jobs. And it's just I happened to be my mom went to the doctor, and so I was sitting upstairs with the dog and I was watching, and I happened to be on the beach episode. And so it's just overtly sexual all over the place. And she comes back and she's just like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? I look up and the girl's got no top and she's jiggling around. And I'm like, fuck me. And so I just looked her in the eye and I'm like, it's research material for work.
Sure it is.
Hey, it legitimately could be. Oh, I wonder if Crystal will have a beach episode.
Yes. Halfway through, it always happens.
That's another one of those anime things that almost always happen, and if it's not a beach, it's a hot
We're on spring break, or we're on summer break, so we have to go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, in real life, I imagine that happens
beach.
a decent amount enough, because Japan is a collection of islands, so there's beaches everywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, our summer breaks are, in reality, for the majority of people, just being at home.
And see, I'd still love to move out to where you are, get a job at your company. I need a change of scenery, and
well, let me
it wouldn't bother me to work there.
Now is not the time to come out to the frozen north. Now is the time we start getting cold.
I'm okay with that
right now, but
it's
give it a
hot
month,
right
it's
now.
going to start getting cold here.
At least
really
you have
cold.
water.
Yeah, at least you have water.
Well, I'm sorry. I just happen to live next to the biggest lake in the entire continent.
Our lakes are so dry.
Well, that's because you fuckers out west pull all your water from the surface.
That's not exclusively true, but mostly. It also helps that we get, like, dick in real rainfall.
Literally.
Yeah.
The majority of the western United States pulls their water from hydro facilities.
Well,
they drained all the aquifers in the 70s, growing oranges where? In fucking southern Arizona. Why? Because we're retarded. We are fucking... I literally had my professor explain to me, like, when I was a sophomore, about how we had orange groves in southern Arizona, and I'm like, why? It's the fucking high desert! And she's like, yep, I know. I'm like, what the... She's it's warm enough. If you just add enough water, and it's warm enough, you can grow oranges anywhere. I'm like, that's fucking retarded! She's like, the entire industry collapsed in the 80s. When they drained the last bit of water out of the aquifers. Sorry.
It doesn't help that Southern California gets almost all of its water from Northern California.
Those damn LA, Hollywood, I gotta have a clean pool every day.
No, I don't. A lot of that and all the farms are up here, so we need water in general. But, like, we're having to start to do the extreme ordinances of if you water your fucking lawn, you're dead, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Have fun with that riparian law out there. Out west, water is not a utility. It's not a common right. It's a private ownership right. We don't have riparian law in Minnesota. In Minnesota, it's considered a common good. It's protected by the state government.
Well, you know why most of California water is privatized? The fucking bottled water industry.
I hate to tell you this, but basically anywhere there's not a municipal ordinance, private companies own the water supply.
Yeah, well, apparently...
The only places they can are places where a city owns the water.
Apparently, or probably not for much longer, California produced, like, a large portion of American water, bottled water.
Well, that's nice.
So we were fucking shipping water out of our drought-stricken fucking state.
Yep.
California is so smart.
Well,
it's not like they could.
Crock anyway.
Yeah, it's not like they could enact a law saying it was privately owned water.
Yeah.
Bottled water is a crock because bottled water is protected by the FDA, which, as we all know, is pretty laissez-faire about their regulations, whereas your tap water is protected by the EPA, which has a hard-on for regulations.
Yeah, like, bottled water regulations are so shit.
Literally all
I realize there are places in the world where you don't got a fucking choice, or if there's something happening with your municipal water, you gotta get
That's why bottled water exists, is to cover when you can't get a clean water supply.
But people around here are like, oh, I don't drink tap water because it's gross. It's like, no, your bottled water is gross.
All bottled water is, most of the time, is when and this is specifically when you're not buying, like a local brand, and you're buying, like, Aquafina or Dasani or whatever. Like, those literally are just Coca-Cola or Pepsi, minus the carbonation, minus the syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Just turn the water spigot on, don't turn the carbonator on, and pour water into the bottles. That's it.
See, about every 2 weeks or so, I buy a bottle of Aquafina, and I drink it, and then I put water in it from home to have it work. I'll just get a...
You don't do that long term, do you?
No, no. About every 2 weeks or so, I get a new bottle.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that more than, like, once or twice. You're leaching BPA and BPB into your blood.
What you should get is
get a steel or plastic.
Because they use cheap plastic in water bottles. That's why that's one of the reasons it has a shelf life.
It does?
Yes, there's an expiration date on your water. It's a mixture of the plastic and sometimes the minerals they re-add in. If it's mineral water or if it has
especially if you buy the bottles where they, like, crinkle. The crinkle bottles you should never reuse. You should drink the water and recycle them.
Which most of our bottles nowadays are, because they're trying to cut back on how much plastic they use. So
honestly, if you drink a lot of water, it's better off.
In fact, I think I have a reusable water bottle I can just give you.
If it's not clear, I can't use it.
You might want to look for a clear one then. Like, hit up.
Well, you can find a clear water bottle.
I don't think I have any clear ones to give her. Is what I'm
why does it have to be clear?
So probably so they can see that you're not drinking food.
Oh, for work, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot you work for an evil corporation that has to worry about shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, the only person that has ever gotten talked to about what's in my water bottle.
One time, our HR lady gave me shit about that. I was like, seriously? You want to try some of my vodka? Here, be my guest, and just hand her the bottle.
Yeah.
She got super pissed off. I'm like, no, take a swig. She took a swig. She's like, this is lemonade. I'm like, yes, stupid. It's lemonade.
Well, see, I tried to take a water bottle to work, like a plastic reusable, washable thing. And because it was tinted gray, it was tinted gray. I got told I could not use it. And I go, but it's water. And they're all like, but we can't see that it's water. And I'm all like, but that girl over there is drinking a McDonald's cup that you can't see through at all. And that girl over there is drinking a Gatorade that she brought in already opened. And that girl over there has a clear water bottle, but what's inside of it is red.
If your company is so worried about people being drunk on the job, maybe they should just get a fucking breathalyzer.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they should give us bottles of water as we walk in.
No, seriously. If your company's like that fucking concerned, like I've worked for big companies. I work for a decent sized company now. We're not that fucking concerned. Like if it's a concern, they're just like, okay, here's a breathalyzer. Everyone blow. If you blow anything more than a 0.03, we're going to have to ask you a lot of questions. Awkward questions about what you do on your lunch. When they did it to me, I blew a 0.08. And then they realized I was out with the board of directors playing golf, and it suddenly all came together.
Just like hit a Dollar Tree or something, probably.
You go to Walmart and get them. I know for a fact that my local Walmart sells clear ones. My mom's got like 2 or 3 upstairs. Mm-hmm. She loves those reusable water bottles. I have a steel one.
Because I've got like a red one and then a bunch of like metal ones. So I'm no hope to you.
Yeah, I love the metal ones, except for the paint flickering off. I wish I could get one that's just like brushed aluminum. I'd be truly happy. I'd fill it full of vodka. Because fuck the police. I mean, I would never drink on the job. That's completely wrong. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't drink on the job. That's wrong. But I like to pretend I'm a badass.
Wow, every episode really is the same.
Well, I'm sorry that you like to talk about women's health and social justice.
It's like not always in the same order, but yeah, there's like a lot of topics we always end up coming back to. Just a variation on it, like a different anime, a different social issue, a different women's issue, and then like American work life is stupid, America is stupid. It's almost like our culture sucks.
Really? I haven't realized that. Why are we still living here?
Because you can't afford to leave.
Can't we just go to Canada?
You gotta, there's like waiting time, and you can't just say I want to go to Canada. You have to have like a purpose.
Well, here's the fun thing now. If you're an American and you go to Canada, you have to have a professional skill.
Yeah.
Like a degree before they'll even consider you.
We could go illegally.
And then probably get kicked out.
Okay, so I started the timer while we were recording for a while. Mm-hmm. So it's probably more than that. But we've been going more than 2 hours. Well, a little bit over.
Holy shit.
Hours. It's been about 2.5 hours. Yeah. So, I think that's a nice comeback episode.
Thank you once again for listening to episode 53 of the Super Happy Fun Dabatron Tea Party with Kiki, Bones, and Breathe. Farewell, internet travelers.
But anyway, I was Kiki.
I was Grieve.
And I am the High Lord Cupcake.
And thanks for listening. Bye. Bye. Good night, Cupcake.